Imagine waking up in a world where your hometown is suddenly underwater. Crops that once fed thousands are failing, and the air you breathe burns your lungs. This might sound dramatic, but it is the reality for millions of people who are already facing because of climate change. This issue affects everyone in the United States, not just communities far away. Record-breaking heat waves, high grocery prices caused by droughts, and extreme storms are daily reminders that this issue impacts us all. I researched the Green New Deal and studied both the arguments made in support of it and the criticisms surrounding it, giving me an informed perspective on this policy. I'll start by explaining the problems we face from weak climate action, then talk about the harms of staying on our current path, and finally show how the Green New Deal provides real solutions. The U.S. is already dealing with a rapidly worsening climate crisis, but our national action is still inconsistent and honestly too slow. Some people still treat climate action like it's optional, even though the evidence proves otherwise. The NASA and NOAA report that 2023 was the hottest year ever recorded in the United States, and climate-related disasters caused over $165 billion in damages. These disasters, such as wildfires, hurricanes, floods, and heat waves, are happening more often because of human-caused carbon emissions. With no strong policy in place, public health, the economy, and the environment are all at risk. Now that we've looked at the lack of national action, we can focus on the major impacts of continuing like this. Climate action harms our health, our economy, and even national security. Almost 40% of Americans live in areas with unhealthy air quality because of pollution from fossil fuels. The Department of Defense calls that climate change is a threat multiplier because it makes global instability and conflict worse. Economically, things are just getting serious. The fourth National Climate Assessment warns that if we don't act, climate change could cut the U.S. GDP by up to 10% by 2100. These aren't just numbers. I've seen the effects in my own life. Summers have gotten so hot that it's actually unsafe to be outside for long periods. We get air quality alerts way more often. Local farms start to struggle with drought, and sometimes wildfire smoke makes even simple outdoor activities risky. These signs prove that climate change is already affecting our daily lives. Since we understand the harms of doing nothing, let's look at what the Green New Deal actually offers. The Green New Deal gives us a realistic but ambitious plan to move the United States towards 100% clean and renewable energy, while creating millions of jobs. First introduced in 2019, it aims for the net zero emissions by investing in things like wind, solar, and other renewable technologies. Research from the Political Economy Research Institute shows that these investments could create over 10 million good-paying jobs in just 10 years. This proves that protecting the environment and growing the economy don't have to compete. They can work together with the right policies. Change can also start locally. People can support green policies in their community. Vote for leaders who support and prioritize the environment, and make small lifestyle changes to reduce their carbon footprints. When communities push for action, the pressure for national change gets stronger. Today, I've explained why the United States should adopt the Green New Deal. We looked at the problems caused by weak climate action and serious effects by staying on the same path, and the serious and solutions this plan provides. The Green New Deal isn't just a policy. It's a commitment to protecting the environment, supporting economic growth, and making sure future generations can live safely. The real question isn't whether we can afford to take action, it's whether we can afford to ignore this crisis any longer.